Hey, what's up YouTube? Haven't made a video in a really long time. I actually tried to make one last night. Really shitty camcorder I had. It was like a Vivitar or something, so I went out, traded it back in, got a flip. And I'm here to stay now. I'm going to be making YouTube videos a lot. So this is like my comeback video, I guess you can say, and it's a UFC 4 predictions. So yeah, I'll just get right into it. I'll do the main card first, do another preliminary card later. And yeah. First fight on the main card, we got Tyson Griffin versus Manny Gamburyan. Manny was on the Season 5 Ultimate Fighter, and I'm sure you guys all know who Tyson Griffin is. He's making his featherweight debut. He's lost 3 in a row. Why didn't he lost his last fight? You guys probably don't either, but yeah, it counts as 3 losses. He's still the same old Tyson Griffin. He should probably be doing better now at featherweight. He didn't really have to move. He was already a really big lightweight in my opinion, but I guess if you lose a lot of fights, you gotta just switch weights. That's what most people do. I guess it was a smart move. Featherweight's not too stacked or anything. And he's going up against Manny Gamburyan, former title challenger. I know he fought for the title his last fight, and he didn't look too bad. I mean, he got finished, but I mean, it's Jose Aldo. What can you do? And yeah, I think this is a good comeback fight for Griffin, not for Gamburyan. Griffin has a really good wrestling game, and his strikes are pretty devastating too. And Manny's just, I don't really know how to describe Manny's style. He's good. I know he has good judo. His cousin's Carl Parisian or something, and so I know he has good judo. And he's not a bad fighter by any means. I just don't see him winning this fight. And I mean, it's Tyson Griffin. I'm sure he can outlast Manny, and I think he's going to grind out a decision. So Tyson Griffin versus for a unanimous decision. Matt Mitrione versus Christian Morecraft. Matt Mitrione, meathead, you guys all know him. 4-0 in the UFC. Christian Morecraft, 1-1, I believe. I know he lost to Stefan Struve, a fight where he was dominating, and he showed me a lot in that fight. I think he has really good ground and pound, has a lot he can do in the sport, and I think he can evolve, become a much better fighter. And Matt Mitrione, he's meathead. He hasn't really been tested by UFC. This is his biggest test, which isn't really I don't know, that's really weird to say that your biggest test is Christian Morecraft. I think Christian Morecraft is coming up too. And I wouldn't be surprised if Christian Morecraft could take this out for Matt Mitrione. I mean, Matt Mitrione's a big guy. We've seen he has a good guard, a good triangle. Almost got Kim, I don't know. He's working on his jiu-jitsu. And he has good striking. I know he can outclass Christian in the striking game, but I think Christian will try to take him down and work his ground and pound that he saw against Stefan Struve, and I guess the ground and pound that finished McCorkle. And yeah, I can see that going that way, but even though saying that, I just think Mitrione, this is a fight for Mitrione. UFC wants to build him up, and I see him winning this fight. I think he's actually going to probably finish Morecraft. You've seen his heavy leg kicks, really light on his feet. He's a great fighter, and he's still evolving too. He's young in the sport, still 4-0. He made all his fights in the UFC, and yeah, I think Matt Mitrione will take this in a second-round finish, second-round TKO, probably set up by leg kicks. Next fight on the card, we got Matt Brown versus John Howard. I like Matt Brown. Great kickboxing. Exciting fighter. Never really has a boring fight. He goes there to fight, and so does John Howard. So I think this should be a great fight. They both are on a little losing streak. Matt Brown, he's going to get cut for sure if he loses this fight, I'm sure. And Doomsday probably, I don't know if he can make another fight. I like Doomsday. Exciting fighter, but you know how UFC is. You lose 2 fights, you're pretty much out. This would be his 3rd loss in a row, and this would be Matt Brown's 4th loss in a row. The fight makes sense. Yeah, John Howard, good. He has great striking, guys all know. He has an underrated ground game, I think. He has a good ankle lock. You've seen him finish them, or I know he tried to finish Thiago with it, and I think it's a pretty good ankle lock. I can definitely see Matt Brown being caught in an ankle lock because he has great kickboxing too. But I don't know. Matt Brown has good submission skills, underrated. I think they both have underrated ground games, but even though saying that, I just don't see him winning. I see him getting cut by the UFC, and John Howard probably finishing him in the 3rd round. Just knockout. 3rd round knockout for John Howard. Cheick Kongo versus Pat Barry. I'm really surprised Cheick Kongo's still in the UFC. Since he's got here, he's been in the UFC for a long time. I really haven't seen Cheick Kongo evolve at all. Still really weird. He hasn't really been tested in a while. I mean, he fought Travis Brown his last fight. I thought Travis Brown won that fight, and I thought he was probably going to get cut or something, but no, it was a draw. And you guys know that style. Pat Barry, K1 level kickboxer. He was in K1. He has great leg kicks, one of the best in heavyweight division. Great striking. He just needs to learn, I think he needs to learn how to set it up more, because when I saw him fight Joey Beltran, he would kind of hit him with a leg kick, wait for him to stumble a little bit, wouldn't really follow up with the punches. If he could do this to Kongo and follow up with the punches, he could definitely finish Kongo. I can see him finishing him, but I don't think so. You know Kongo style. He has good stand up too, but he doesn't have better stand up than Pat Barry. That's a given. Pat Barry has the better stand up in this fight, and Chet Kongo likes to really grab you, push you up against the cage, kind of do illegal shit, grab your shorts, knee you in the dick. That's Chet Kongo's style. They always say, "Oh, that's not intentionally." Well, he does it like at least 3-4 times a fight. He knees you in the dick a lot, and I could probably see him doing that to Pat Barry. And I don't even know what to say here. I mean, I know Pat Barry struggles a lot with people who have Chet Kongo style, who want to push him up against the cage. He was struggling when Beltran was doing that, and that's not Beltran's game at all. So if he's struggling with a low-level fighter like Joey Beltran when that's happening, he's definitely going to struggle with Chet Kongo. So as much as I would like to see Pat Barry win, I'm going to have to give it a unanimous decision to Kongo, but I'll be rooting for Barry. And the main event here, we got Nate Marquardt versus Rick the Horror Story. I love Rick. I really like Rick Story. Great fighter. He has a background. I mean, mom beat him. It's a good story to like see how he made it in the sport, and he's doing great. 6-fight winning streak, taking on Nate Marquardt. If he wins, this is definitely the biggest fight of Rick Story's career, which is crazy, saying he just beat Thiago Alves' last fight. And at first, I thought it was going to originally Nate Marquardt versus Anthony Rumble Johnson, which I was kind of looking forward to that fight, since seeing how Anthony kind of controlled his last fight on the ground. And I don't really know. I think this has fight of the night on it. This could be a great fight. I know some people think Nate Marquardt's boring. He's an excellent striker, excellent ground game, great submissions, great takedowns. He's just one of the most well-rounded fighters in the UFC today. And the drop for welterweight's probably great for him. I mean, he wasn't doing bad at middleweight. It's not like he was losing like Tyson Griffin or anything. He just dropped down to welterweight. Guess he was walking around 190. It seems like a good move. And Rick Story, like I said, won all six of his last 6 fights. He's been doing great, and it's a tough one to call, but even though saying how great Nate Marquardt is, I'm just going to pick Rick Story for the upset factor. I mean, he upsetted me in the Thiago Alves fight. I didn't think he could win that. And if he can beat Thiago Alves, I'm sure he could probably take out Nate Marquardt. And, yeah, that's my main card picks. Rick Story by decision. I wouldn't be surprised. No, I don't think anyone's going to be finishing this fight. But, yeah, it should be a really great card. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys like the video. I'm trying to get back into this thing. If anyone missed me or anything, you can send me a message. It's good to be back. And, yeah, later.